Imagine growing up with a huge part of your culture missing from your life. There's never a moment in which you're not aware of what you're being excluded from, because it's like there's a massive void in your chest that throbs and pulses and aches whenever you see something you should be a part of, but aren't. Imagine feeling so alone in a room full of the people who share the same blood as you, but you know that you're never going to feel the bond that they share with each other, because that hole in your chest always sets you apart from the rest of your family. Imagine being the only piece of the puzzle that doesn't fit. Being an Innu girl who only speaks and understands English, I would know how that feels. My mother is an Innu woman who can read, write, and speak Innu-aimun, her native language, along with English. My dad is a white man and only speaks English. Due to that fact, English was the main language spoken at home. Although my mother tried to incorporate Innu-aimun whenever she could, it was never enough, so I often felt like the odd one out at family gatherings and such. Many elders in my community, Shaia, Labrador, speak and understand little English. This language barrier causes a rift to form between those who, like myself, speak mainly English, and those who don't speak much English at all. Elders, like my grandmother Elizabeth Panashwe, have so much knowledge, experience, and information about life on the land, with which Innu people have such a strong cultural connection. Their lessons are what keep the Innu culture alive. Imagine how excluding it feels for children who don't know the language and can never really be part of that experience. Believe me, it's not a fun thing. The growing problem in my community is that it's harder for parents and guardians alike to speak Innu-aimun exclusively to their young children. The English language dominates a large portion of everyday life among the Innu people, such as television, movies, social media, and most importantly, school. While there are Innu-aimun language classes being taught in my school from grades 1 through 9, there is a lack of qualified Innu-speaking teachers familiar enough with the language to teach it. So, 1 hour of speaking Innu-aimun at school per day isn't nearly enough time to learn the language. This compromises the children's ability to learn, use, and preserve our native language at home and at school. During traditional gatherings or any other situation where our native language, Innu-aimun, is spoken, a person like myself can feel extremely alone in crowded rooms. The Innu language is a very prominent part of the Innu culture. One of the things that helps keep the Innu culture alive is speaking the language, which has been passed down by word of mouth for generations. If we lose our language, we are losing a piece of our culture which may not be found again, a piece of ourselves which could be lost forever. However, while I know that it's difficult to speak our native language when English surrounds us every waking hour, the last time I checked, difficult didn't mean impossible. There is hope for keeping the Innu language alive. We just have to be willing to work for it.